Oh, it's happening 2, it's happening 4, it's happening 3.
They're building themselves.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, and then get real mad when you go knock them down.
Gotta get the law out there.
Yeah, threaten to shoot you, threaten, get the law involved. Mhm.
They put them up. The one I had, 2114 and 3350, and 2114 for Monster.
Right.
They put it from here to that wall from the intersection. So if you're coming up to it, in there, you already got to stop too. And it was very unsafe.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is that, it is that.
And they didn't tell anybody on top of that, so.
Well, maybe they should be deterred. Totally map and signs.
That's a big corrective windshield and one that appeared on mine.
I read. But did somebody put one down? Later in fall.
He took it out.
I'm surprised we actually didn't block it.
They even put their own signs up, slow down, dust, bad dust.
Yeah, and
I've seen that, remember that, I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, people, you don't do your job, they're gonna do it for you and replace you, there's no doubt about it.
Child plumbing.
Mhm. Slow children plays.
That's been over on Sis Road for years. Hey, Montgomery Lane, we call it. All right, well, we're back at that fateful hour. Whoa, wait a minute. We need our scribe. I seriously thought I slept well last night. The way I'm talking today, it's clear I did not. I woke up 5 this morning, popped out of bed, just refreshed. Man, it's gonna be a good day. What's that? Yeah. Me too.
That's like this morning, yesterday when I left, I said, I'll be late. Well, I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock. Glenn said, I thought you wasn't coming in today. I said, well, I couldn't go back to sleep.
Well, I mean, I found out over the years, if I wake up and I feel good, that's the best you're gonna feel. Don't go back to sleep. You just don't feel crummy, you don't feel miserable. Get on with this and call it a day. And I had a steer I had to go check on. We cut steers this weekend. And we got one that he's just not, he's not doing what he needs to, not bleeding out or anything, but you know, you get one, get a nerve, sometimes they get down. He's finally back on feed, so he'll turn the corner on me hopefully in a day or so, but go play, you know.
I'll imagine you lay down too. So they can go.
More than down, I would fought a little harder if I was him.
I let Nicole, tell her, let's go.
Starting on the left, so she may have to.
That might be, maybe. He opened the door. Locked out the bailiff. That's terrible. No. No. Yeah, throw my hands up and left. All right. At this time, we're going to return this meeting from recess. It is still the 27th day of February, 2024. This is a continuation of the meeting that started at 8:30 a.m. this morning as posted, and currently the time is going to be 59:58 a.m. And so we're moving on to item number 31, which is a public hearing to establishing a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit on Hill County Road 3278, Hill County Precinct number 3, and installing speed limit signs thereon. Is there anybody here to speak in a public hearing establishing 35-mile-an-hour speed limit on Hill County Road 3278, Hill County Precinct 3, either for, against, or indifferent? We'd love to hear from you.
Well, my problem is not a Hill County residents. This road goes into Limestone County, and our Limestone County residents are like using. It sets the speed on the road
So you're saying speed bump at the county line?
at the county line. Well, you got.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
About 4 foot
already.
Oh, it does.
The people that use it go around.
Yeah.
No, we're favored for it.
Okay, good deal. Anybody else to speak for, against, or indifferent to a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit on Hill County Road 3278? Hearing nothing further, I will move that we close this public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Brings us to number 33, discussion and action on establishing a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit on the Hill County Road 3278. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, none, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Yeah, all right. Bring us along to number 34 at this time, with discussion action proposals for audiovisual solution in the annex, auxiliary courtroom in Covington Street Annex. As you gentlemen know, we built probably what's one of the nicest courtrooms, or at least functional courtrooms in Hill County over in the annex. And the scope of that, I have made previously my disregard for our architects. One of the things I did not include was the audio and visual and scope of that project. So it's not included in our current project. To that end, Mr. Cantrell has gone out and solicited a couple of bids, and he's got a few things to share with us today. Philip, what you got?
Yes, sir. Gentlemen, you should all have, I believe, 3 proposals in front of you. Thank you, Ms. Pollock, for making those copies. So there's basically a high, a mid, and a low. The high end proposal, I believe it's, well, before you guys look at the numbers, let me let me back up just a little bit. The gentleman that's doing this is Chris Lundy, I believe, Asbel Electronics out of Waco. They're the same group that did the district courtroom upstairs after the flood.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why this is higher for Mr. Lundy is that when they redid the district courtroom, they were able to reuse some microphones, reuse some speakers, things of that nature. At the Covington auxiliary courtroom, every week we have to purchase everything. We have to buy the whole thing. So that's why the price is a little higher. If you remember what that number was for the work they did upstairs. The high, I believe, is a 34 number. That 41. Okay, thank you, Commissioner. 41. So that includes I'll call it the brains. It's the switch box that's able to switch the audio and the video. That includes, I'll say, all the bells and whistles. It includes 5 wireless gooseneck microphones, 2 of these click share devices. So the click share device is a device that one can be at the judge's bench and one could be at each council table. And they could basically toggle between who's going to be able to present to the TV if they need to present some evidence or something like that. So, and the high quote also, I think it has some wireless mics. It has some lapel mics in it as well. The mid tier, which I think maybe that's the 34 number, is the mid tier. Okay.
Yeah.
So that reduces the wireless gooseneck mics from 5 to 4. We drop off all the lapel mics and we reduce the click share devices from 2 to 1. So each click share device includes 2 buttons. So with 2 click shares, we get 4 buttons. So this reduces it from 2 to 1, giving us 2 buttons. So one could be on the judge's bench, and then the 2 council tables would have to share a click share device. But we do get the main brains, the main switch box. Mm-hmm. And we can always add more microphones and click share devices in the future if we went with option 2, with the mid-tier option. The low tier option actually splits, so we don't get the main brains, the switch box. We get 2 different solutions. You get a audio switcher and a video switcher, and there's not much room for expansion with the low end model or the low end. I was hoping that Mr. Lundy would be able to join us, but he had a cutoff this morning. He was not able to make it.
Yeah, sorry, it's a long meeting this morning.
You have any questions?
Well, all right. I use a courtroom on a regular basis, and I don't like spending money, but I don't think the lowest end one provides us with the best possibility because of the inability to expand upon it at a later date if we find other things. You know, this is a pretty interesting proposal. They're doing some things that we've not done before. There's array microphones in the back of the room for the ver diary. That's when we all get called in for jury duty and they pick their jurors. So the ver diary panel and being able to hear that's been pretty important. I know it's expensive. The mid-tier one is where I'm at on this thing personally. It just gives us the ability to expand at a later date if we need it. We may not need it. We may not have to, and it may be just sufficient for what we need, but it does give us that ability. It doesn't pigeonhole us that we got to start from scratch. If we say, oh, this isn't enough, this isn't going to work, that we can actually piecemeal and put it together.
Like the mid-tier 2, because it has what you call it, the main brain or whatever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's the main switch box that can switch audio and video.
That you can expand on.
Yes, sir.
The other thing it does, and I think this would be some note to Mr. Holmes, is, all right, so like in this courtroom, we have to use this device and it's not integrated into the sound system. With the mid-tier, it takes an 86-inch monitor because it's just not a monitor, it's TV. It's cheaper to buy the TVs than the projectors nowadays, clearer picture. It takes that video and integrates it into the sound system. With the mid-tier, it does not do that at the low. And I will tell you, there's nothing more frustrating than sitting on that bench trying to watch two, attorneys get a video that wasn't high quality to start with, to get to a jury. So, it's oh, by the way, the first jury trial is going to be the county court of law. Are you on that one? The first jury trial over there is going to be the county court of law. That's CPS. Okay. All right. So anyway, we've already seen use of that thing, and I suspect we will more and more in the future.
Should now people that can do one with sonographer or whatever, will this have?
No, that's a whole different way of doing things. There's a system you can buy. It's an electronic system. It's a series of cameras and microphones, as I understand it. It's got a yearly scheduling or yearly maintenance fee that's pretty tough. And you'd have to get certified by the Supreme Court of Texas so that you could use it instead of a court reporter. We don't have a dearth of court reporters here. We're good. I share with the county court of law. That situation's worked out. Christy, just a wonderful person to work with. And then the folks from the AG court, I believe if they have one, they bring their own if they need it, but then normally I've never practiced over there. And I hope that it stays that way. So
It's getting harder to get people to go to school.
yeah, it can be. And that's something we'll talk about again in the future when it comes up. Just it's not part of this proposal today. However, I would think that the mid-tier proposal would make that easier later because of the integration of the sound and the audio to one place instead of having two separate things that you would have to integrate. I know that their equipment that they use in my courtroom, that they use in other courtrooms is very, I don't want to say finicky. That's not true. It's set up a certain way and it doesn't always play nice with others. We've had a deal before when we had, as she was typing, they're using some kind of shorthand. Well, it would come on my monitor on my laptop and show me the actual display of what was said. So you could, in a jury trial, it's real handy for a judge. You thought you heard something. Did you really hear that? And it's real time reading, but every time I'd upgrade my software, it would not work anymore. So.
Another thing I forgot to mention. So with the top and mid tiers with the main brands, that's going to come with an iPad and they can program the iPad so that it has very simple buttons for the judge to use just to turn things on and off. You don't get that with the low tier option.
Yeah. And the ability to turn things on and off will be important in there. I'll go further. Our district clerk has set up a calendar over there and that's shared with elections because, they're using it for voting, early voting and day of voting. So now we have a calendar so nobody step on each other's toes. Been shared with multiple different departments so that we can all utilize that space a little better. County Court of Law has a 6-person jury box and that meets 90% of their needs, but occasionally because of their super jurisdiction, that is their family law jurisdiction, they have a need for a 12-seat jury. This is always available to them, but I'll be frank with you, as an attorney, I would rather try trials in that courtroom all day long than this one. The jury's comfort is way better over there. It's just, these aren't super comfortable. It's hard to hear in here. We're trying to make a courtroom that is going to be useful for everybody. But
Make a motion to go with this mid-tier.
okay. A motion to second, take the mid-tier from Asbel Electronics in the amount of $34,694.11. That being said, that money will get paid out of the capital outlay line. We'll get where we had anticipated these kind of things coming up. So it'll be paid from 105-1103-4101. That is the motion. Is there a second? Yes. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. All right, number 35, discuss and or approve contract with GovOS. You guys remember GovOS? These are the individuals that are tracking the Airbnbs, VBROs, short-term rentals. So my curiosity, Ms. Parker, your thoughts on this? Is it worth the value what we're paying for it? Okay. She's not on, no.
Owners do the platform, how to set their account, how to link their taxes. If they have any issues with the website, I help them. Chrissy's the backside. I send all the payments to them once a month. They host it into their system and they just button and check for that. For me, it's working great.
Okay, good.
It's pretty self-sufficient.
Are we seeing a number of collections on this?
We are seeing a huge increase.
Really?
Like the eclipse coming, yeah. Because I personally own a cleaning business, All the people I think for their houses are renting for like half of them.
I'm gonna throw some renters out. What? Yeah, Miss Lewis, we need to leave for the week. Yeah, $5,000 a night for homes, for 5 nights on.
249 Rabbit Shadow Trail. is-
I will say, I know a lot of people still dispute that people are coming for this. I've seen that little conspiracy theory on Facebook. I promise you, if people will pay $5,000 a night on house 1713, you're gonna have a crowd here. You're gonna have a crowd in this county.
So I think it's great. I think we're collecting one of the historically ever.
Okay. Well, make sure you write down those addresses so we don't get our share of the tax on that 5,000. I'll even call somebody. All right, well. I'm in favor of doing this again. It's given us an insight into a problem we've had, years ago, a group of citizens got the hotel motel tax passed. And then you've got hoteliers that do it. They take care of business. Well, then there's competition from short-term rentals, and it's an unfair competitive advantage that you're making one group of people collect tax and the other. So Airbnb, VRBO, they claim that they're going to help their people do it, but we found a lot more compliance when we show up and go, hey, by the way, you owe this by this statute that was passed.
And I'll give you an example, just last month, I was shopping. I'll show you a rental history. She said, oh no, I closed that business. I said, well, here's the data. You rented it for 7 nights. Here's the nights. And here's the rules. You have to pay.
Uh-huh.
She ended up sending us a check. Otherwise, she would not have paid us.
Agreed. Yeah. A lot of people, well, they want to get up paying.
So it is working. It's doing what it's designed to do.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I'm going to make a motion in favor of approval of a contract with GovOS, and this will be in the amount of $22,445.76. We did budget for this during our last budget time, so it's not something we're worried about. And the agreement seemed to be standard and same as we signed last time. So, yeah. Correct. Exactly. We're just trying to put our feet in the water. At some point, we may not need it, but right now it sounds like we do. All right. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on approving a contract with GovOS for the assistance in collecting short-term rental hotel motel taxes? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions, motion shall carry. I'll pass the order around. Number 36, who wants to make the motion to accept $250,000 from the Rural Law Enforcement Salary Assistance Program? I'll second that because, this is the, I forget the exact House bill. This is one, we built our budget on this money, so I'm really glad it showed up. Senate Bill 22. So that's how we got an extra $900,000 in salary into the sheriff's operations between Joel. We have to have this money. It's finally, after doing the paperwork and waiting forever, it's coming through. So we can backfill that hole in our budget now, which I appreciate the motion. Second, is there any further discussion on this issue? Hearing none, I call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. This is also a signed doc, a DocuSign document. So I will make sure I get you a copy that is properly reflected, the timestamps on the signatures. And I thought I've already, yeah, here we go. So I'll get that done and get it to you shortly. All right, moving right along in, we're going to number 37, time to go out for bids. Save's not with us, but discuss and approve advertising for county supplies, offsite and onsite fuel, oil, road materials, corrugated steel pipe, petroleum supplies and emulsion, treated lumber, all types of road-based contracts for crushing services, concrete, corrugated boxes, box culvert construction, contracts for hauling, scrap metal bids, and other supplies or services effective as of April 1, 2024. Guys, we're gonna need a little extra help this year, soliciting. The folks in the auditor's office, I was talking with Shanda, wonderful. She's the one who used to work out at Wells Fargo. They've got their packets, they're pretty good to go, but we want to make sure, because we've got new players around, that a lot of our vendors are getting these if they fall under one of these categories. Failure for a vendor to put a bid in means we can't accept the bid, therefore we can't do business with them under procurement policy under 262 of the Texas Local Government Code. So we're working with them to make sure that we get emails, and if there's no email, then a mail packet out to any vendor you can think of that we want to do business with in any of these areas, because these are all areas that we've identified that we are going to spend over $50,000 per a major budget in, and therefore by law we have to put it out for bid. Big Check Fuel, close their doors.
To
Okay, as long as you know.
78. I got it.
Oh, who you find from? Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, you fuel oil people, you know, for you, Scott Oil, Independent, if anybody's still, well, it's not Myatt anymore. What did they get changed to down in West? I heard they sold out, then Jerry passed away, so
He's still running, my fuel is still running the truck, the name on the truck, so I.
maybe it's still Myatt then. Okay, well, if anybody plans on using that as a, you know, spare, we need to make sure we notify them. I understand that the old Maverick pit maybe has reopened off 1104 Loop. No,
What?
don't know if that's true or not. I heard there used to be an old pit down there.
I did a lot of research on that. It's owned by Texas Alliance parent company.
Okay.
And I don't, if it's open.
I heard a
that's
rumor.
news to me.
I don't know that, but I heard a rumor.
I'll go check.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Because that would be a benefit, but you know, Arnold got bought out by Cimex. So, and I know that we've already got those people that were buying stone from Connors, Arnold, occasionally, I guess Radler. But if you've got some other pit you need for emergency, or you need something just to build road up and you're gonna cap it with something else. If you got another pit out there, let us know, or you guys go out and let them know they need to bid and get in contact with us.
Texas good asphalt.
Yeah, we got a lot of the asphalt guys. And then we had more culverts and asphalt people last time than we'd had in a while. You know, we got down to where we were only getting one culvert supplier and P2 emulsions.
There's a couple. I just ordered some, got delivery. I need more.
Good deal. Do we still use much treated lumber, knowing you guys have knocked out most of your wooden bridges? Well, no, Scotty, you got a little different story, but
You and, there's really only one place to go to.
get Boy Wonder in here. Yeah.
That's Steve's Lumber Company.
Okay.
way down in Southeast Texas.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and that's a bid we need to make.
He's all that, they know some stuff that hit the only bid in if you want to get it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, then. Well, is there a motion to go out for bid for the aforementioned county supplies? All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll go out for bid. I'm going to get with the gals in the auditor's office today, or Shanda, hopefully, and start that process. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, I call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
All the paperwork's ready for to go out right now. Or is there a date?
Okay.
They've got a lot of it ready, and I've had some further discussions after Friday's discussion with Shanda. She sent me some emails. It looks like they have most of it ready. I need to double check before I open my big mouth and stick my foot in it, okay? I
So I've
think,
got vendors is ready to go.
I think we're good. We may have to change a couple of dates from 23, 24 to 24, 25. That's the kind of stuff that I saw. So let me double check and we'll try to get it out today or tomorrow if we can. All right, cool. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstention, motion carries. Good. Any good news from you guys?
Oh, yeah, sorts. It's
What are you up to?
JP.
Okay,
Just everything for regular hearings, evictions, small claims,
good deal.
magistrate.
Just another thing, to let you guys know that they've been tasked with, or Shane's been tasked with, if we have an influx of people, magistration, you know, our jail holds 194 people maximum. Actually with segregation, it gets a little below that. If the city of Hillsborough picks up 50 to 60 drunks in a night, well, guess what? It's going to be hard to sort those people somewhere. So
Use my house, $5,000.
5,000 a night. You heard her. Deal. I know we're setting up magistration at Shane. So, yeah, it's just another one of the plans behind the scenes we're making up what to do if we have an excessive number of people from any of these festivals or anything that we pick up, how to magistrate them and keep the jail cells open. So
We touched base with the sheriff's office with some pre-planning. Just kind of getting on everybody's radar in case there's a influx of people, we'll be ready to deal with them. Hopefully.
we can operate night court. Oh, it may be.
If we have to, we will. I need
Yeah.
a big tall ball bailiff.
Get Cox to shave his head.
I've seen that show.
Yeah, pull him out. You got some cards called up. All right. Well, last item on the agenda today, well, not last, but second to last, is discussion action on setting a public hearing on the closure of Wharf Street between Pinto Ridge and Palomino Loop. The attorney was a young lady in the back there. I think she lives in that area. She got called away to a hearing. This was on a previous agenda. I said that I would notify that party if it came up. I didn't catch it that was on there, so we tabled it last time. But if we want to set a public hearing for this, I think April 9th is a common date for public hearings. Per David Holmes. All right. So it's my motion that we set a public hearing on the possible closure of Wharf Street between Pinto Ridge and Palomino Loop on April the 9th, 2024 during a regular meeting of the Hill County Commissioners Court.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Good deal. All right. Number 38 is our workshop for job descriptions. I pulled you guys in here. You got all your job descriptions done?
Yeah.
Good. All right. You're ahead of the curve. There's only a couple of us left that haven't done anything. So I don't know who those people are. But we're gonna have to do job descriptions. So here you go. We'll take one and pass them around. We'll take a couple and pass them around. You gonna be hanging around after this? Cool.
This is Jim's.
Here. Here, Miss Paul will help you out.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So are they just discussing their job descriptions? So I didn't need to bring.
We're gonna take yours and go, that's horrible. We can't believe you spell like that. You know, I need another red pen.
Are these separate job descriptions? So you'll make a copy of it.
Sure. Thank you.
6 and 8. And then
All the same, huh?
Well, sure, I'm happy to look on. I mean, it's not really my bailiwick here, but I'm happy to put my 2 cents in and talk about things I don't know anything about. Mhm.
Some that Rhonda had, some that Jim has provided me. The only thing I didn't, it was what Larry gave me, because I had some questions.
Okay, well, shoot, run the questions by him.
So in front of you, you should have Lissa's, which is an administrative assistant. You have Lissa,
Listen, Watson,
administrative assistant.
is that an accurate title for what she does? Because she's the database administrator, and I don't know, maybe that's not the right title either, but she's not really what I think of an administrative assistant, because I guess she kind of does that one thing, if I'm wrong, but she does it for all 4 of you guys, or can do it for all 4 of you. So is that an accurate title? Okay, fair enough.
She is the support for all 4 commissioners. With their databases.
Well, I got my own.
Right, but Lissa can't help if yours is out or anything like that.
And those,
One of these days, you're gonna start thinking about what kind of world you're gonna leave for Danny Boddicker.
Lissa has reviewed this. She made some changes. This is the final report from Lissa. So if there's anything we need to add, take away, modify, reword.
yeah, some of that,
I knew what was about to happen. I can't hold court without a licensed peace officer around here. Yeah, I know. Some people still carry their license. It's easy to check out online.
so is this?
I knew that was gonna fail the minute that we went to this. And I know he has
Is
places
this
to
something
be.
she crafted?
Yeah,
Or
it's
Evergreen
between, it's
crafted?
between Evergreen and Honda's existing.
Okay, so when I went through the administrative assistant's duties. There are a lot of things on there that really don't apply to what she does or Danny does.
So she reviewed this one and she said this is what she does.
So she reviewed
She
this and
reviewed
she
it.
said she does
She
this.
does these duties.
Oh,
She brought it to my office on Friday.
Can't leave. Oh, I thought if you're leaving, man, it's not my employees. All right, we're gonna move all that precinct 3 budget money.
so.
Can I go too?
No, no, you may not.
We still have 3.
You're not going 2 at a time in the restroom. Looks bad.
She doesn't maintain any law enforcement agency database.
You don't have the most current copy. They brought it down this morning and it's follow.
Okay, so let's look what we got. The most current copy I have
The top part,
is gonna be, most current copy I have This is Lissa's, not renewal by, not reviewed by Melissa yet. That's the one I have.
That's the old one.
Do you all want to copy this and get followed?
No, no.
Yeah.
I think we got it.
Okay, if you do, I'd love
You
to.
went through it.
Here is.
This is a non-reviewed.
Maybe this is the. Yeah, that's the replacement for that one that she has not reviewed. Sorry,
So this is the reviewed then?
that's the review.
Okay, I'm unclear on that. Cool.
What's the get part of these? Can we wait for me? No county official, seal and that stuff. So that matches. Pretty close to what I've got for Danny.
Right.
Yeah,
So that is yours for Danny's is just Danny's, so it's
yeah,
separate.
well, I mean, it's the position has gotta be consistent, right? No matter what.
What about the process invoices, purchase orders and how
That, you know,
that she can do that?
she can't really do that because you'd have to go through the treasurer.
Yeah,
office
yeah.
before
She
you-
doesn't keep up with your budget for you in any capacity for anybody, she doesn't review any of that for you. Okay, cause she said she was good with it,
Then coordinate travel reservation for them.
she doesn't do that for you all either. Okay, so we need to start marking up some stuff.
Say it again, Scotty, I didn't hear it.
On the back, second page. Coordinate, authorized travel reservations and for them requests.
I'm gonna mark through that.
Maintain the registration.
She doesn't do that either.
So she don't make their own emails.
Well, the first page, it sounds like she answers phone calls for the commissioner. Can she do that?
Yeah, she gets some calls, but not many.
Yeah, I think
So
that's.
could we change her to where she's like a secretary for us? You know, because people call and say, nobody's there at the barn to answer the phone, and she like.
Well, I don't think she'll be chewed out.
I think you're gonna have a hard time keeping an employee if you do that. I'm just gonna lay that out. I mean, we can always over here go, man, that's commissioner's problem. We hang up, you know, sorry about your luck. Here's her phone number, call. She doesn't exactly have that luxury, so.
We had that.
Well, if she gets called, she's gonna record it and she's gonna give it to you, right?
And
I mean, that's what Danny does. If he gets a phone call.
that's a good way of putting what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Yes, you'll get to know her a lot better.
Say it again.
No, I don't think we'll say it too many
Oh,
times, Jim.
Sorry.
She is no wilting violet.
I agree.
She will let you know what she thinks, and she's very good at her job, and that's a very good attribute right now. I'm thinking now. Those are Jim's. This is one set or two sets?
That's all his. No, that's all yours.
Okay, all right, that's,
You probably already have,
there's the confusion for
I didn't think.
Cool,
but I said that's Jim.
Jim's. I want everybody to know, this is Rachel's idea.
Yes, we.
Unfortunately, we have to be on the same page, all four of us, these job descriptions, because of parity across our positions. Therefore, the only way the four of us can meet to talk about this is a properly posted and noticed meeting. So while we're doing this today, for anybody that may be watching at home or YouTube or at a later date, it's not because we're sadomasochists and like the torture of this. It's simply really the only way to get the job done. So
So do we have a person that's going to scribe and then hand those over to, hand them back to Rachel or have them record?
not me. Oh, you're making notes. You're awesome. Good deal. So Rachel says she's on top of that.
I know in Road and Bridge, there's a operator 3. I was thinking, since precinct 2 is the only crew that operates a chip sealing machine
Mhm.
and the chip spreader, that I think there will be creative for them.
For every last one of them,
I only have 4.
you're supposed to have 5.
Those 4 are the ones that chip seal the roads,
Okay. No, I mean, however you guys want to settle amongst yourself, I'm fine with.
because you've got to have the experience to operate the chip spreader and the distributor truck. And I share the chip spreading machine with precinct 1.
Mhm.
But I think it's better that one precinct maintains that machine.
It has kept the machine running more often by doing to that, yes.
Because we have sent it off before and it not come back with,
On my watch.
not on your one. It's not on yours, but
No,
previous, anyway, it come back with, wires broke and parts broke.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's clear. It's anything when you have a piece of equipment, the more people use it, the quicker it goes downhill. I worked for a guy one time that he used to have a sticker on the dash of every truck, every piece of equipment. And that sticker said this piece of equipment makes part of my salary and all of yours treated accordingly.
Mhm.
So I know what you mean. It's just like in law enforcement, you got 3 or 4 guys hot seat in the car. That car doesn't last as long as a car that's dedicated to one guy or gal. So,
Well, if you had something like that go down, you got a problem.
yeah. But back to the session today, for sake of time and management here, is all I'm doing. I'm not telling you what to do with your jobs. I'm just telling you, here's what I need out of you. You can make 1 or 100 different positions under Road and Bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 if you want to.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
that
but just
one,
need to find out what's going to go under each one, and then y'all can divvy it up among yourself how you do that.
Just like that, add that to the operator 3 full-time description.
Yeah,
either way.
and if another precinct.
And that way you're not creating
Not
another,
creating a new one.
not creating a new
You
position.
know, just,
Because that's gonna create a ripple effect through the whole.
yeah,
Boy.
I understand that, but they do a function that no other precinct does. Sir,
We operate a distributor truck too. but we
Yeah,
don't have
that's-
chips.
I know you don't have a chip spreading machine.
But I think we can achieve that with the job descriptions we have and just have the wording in. Just because it's on here doesn't mean that all 4 of your precincts do that. It says they can do that. Doesn't seem they must.
Yeah.
What do you bump up their pages in 3 months for y'all chip spreading?
That's what I'm after, is to bump their pay up.
But just 3 out of,
Sir,
3 out of 12 months. Just 3 out of 12 months, because
Yeah,
the
'cause
months
it's
we're
all
not running
full-time.
is where it is.
usually from May, well, about 5 or 6 months.
May,
It
August.
runs end of May till October.
You run that late.
Temperature
Too long.
depending.
If it's 80 degrees, yes.
Okay.
So with the positions we have right now in our policy, these are the job descriptions we have created today. We can come back at a later time and ask for different positions, different pay structures, all that. I think we
Just-
need to nail down what we have right now.
Correct. We're not settling pay today. We're not putting new people into people's precincts today. That's all budget time stuff. What we need today is to create the positions, whatever job position 1 does, I need those those descriptions, job position 2, 3, 4. So if one of them needs to be chip spreader, that's great, cool. But we just need to figure out which one does that belong in, a 3, a 4. I don't know the answer to
I
that.
don't belong in four, because it's gonna be your.
Okay.
Four skilled workers.
And is there anything else that somebody does that they don't do? I mean, does somebody operate a pile driver still? You know, remember those things? I hope we don't have any pile drivers left, frankly. That's the thing.
Well, that's one thing we were talking about earlier is we've got these general laborer categories. And really nobody fits into that category.
At the moment, you are 100% correct. The reason we have those categories though, is if we have an emergency, like, well, that tornado hit back in January of, was that 14 or 15? I can't remember, up in your neighborhood.
Right after we took off, so it would be
17, okay. So what happened after that? There was a lot of work that had to be done, some emergency things, people had to be hired on. Well, to get reimbursed from FEMA, we needed to have these things up front, say, oh, well, this is a general labor. Even though we normally 99.9% of the time would not hire that position, we needed to have the job description if an emergency situation came up and we had to hire. So I don't want anybody to think, well, hey, we don't have these people, we don't need it. Remember, there's a couple of different uses for the job description. A, we're using it to say this is the qualification for this job. B, we're using it to tell the federal government in time of disaster, hey, no, we already had this job description. This is what our policy has been. Therefore, we get reimbursed at this rate like X, Y, or Z. And C, that if we have employee complaints or workforce commission issues, nope, this is the job you signed up for. These are your duties and this is what we got you doing or not doing.
Now, when we went through this with Edinburgh, we had several people that are in a general laborer 2 category
Okay.
that are really not general labor. They are operators.
Okay, and that's something we need to address, just not in this hearing today. This workshop today is to allocate general laborers, operators, board foremen, however you want to structure it. I just need the general idea of what each one of these jobs would need to do. We're not allocating it to your precinct right now. We're not saying your people are this or that. We're just simply saying, what is the job? So there's uniformity across all four. So when we sit down at budget time this next year, which is not that far away, that we've already got these pre-approved job descriptions, and then we can go, okay, well, my guy's this, this, and this, and he deserves that. Great. We can do those things at that time. Today is simply, hey, I need about 15 to 20 job descriptions, even though you don't have 15 to 20 different types of people. 2 reasons. A, if I've got to hire somebody in emergency, I need that job description for FEMA purposes, for federal procurement purposes. B, we need to have room to move up as well, because we're going to learn new tools all the time. We're going to learn new things to do. Years ago, you would never thought that we need somebody who knew how to run a lay down machine in this place. That's not far off. There'll become a time pretty quick when we're going to need that. And so we just need room to move up as well and add other job duties for other descriptions, however you guys see fit.
On Melissa's, do we only need to remove 2 bullet points?
Well, back to Lissa, do we just need to remove those 2 bullet points? Is that all we're seeing in changes?
On the admin.
Yes, sir, on Lissa, so we get some finality on Lissa.
So the coordinate travel and what's other stuff.
3, maintain fleet vehicles, coordinate travel, and remove process invoices.
And license. You get the processes and invoices.
Yeah. Struck through that one, okay. Nice. So that's all the changes to Lissa did. So with those modifications to Lissa, we should be pretty good to go. All right, one down. What's the next one?
Next one I have is a deputy clerk 1, that is Kathy. Over at 911.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Kathy.
Kathy has reviewed this as well. She thinks this is what she does on a day in, day out basis. So I'm just looking for guidance.
I gotta look the margin on this one. I don't know. I was just thinking about the time I got this tooth pulled, how that was more fun than this.
Yeah, one time she was hindering the time sheet.
Is she still doing
Is
it?
she still doing that?
Her time sheet,
No, all the time sheets. She was entering all the time sheets for a few weeks there or whatever.
oh, she's assisting my office, yes, in
Yeah.
scanning.
So does that need to be in here too?
We can add it. That's why we're having.
Well, if you can still have to do it, I think it ought to be.
Is that an other duties assigned category, or is that more of a, is it, oh, she assisted Jeff Ward in getting his records up to where they needed to be once we moved over there?
It's got the TCQ and all that.
Okay,
We can add
yeah, then assisting, yeah, okay.
So that's about a one-day job to.
Would that fall under operate machines such as computers, cell phone system, copier, scanner?
I think it would partially fall under there, yes.
I can just add another bullet. And then do you agree with all of her like qualifications, specialized skills, weight, lifting, pushing, pulling?
Yeah.
That's easy enough.
Okay, that one's down, two's down. What's the third one?
The next one is Karen,
Oh, yes.
and she's reviewed this as well.
Oh, back up a second. On that, she replaces signs too,
Who's that? Kathy or Lisa?
Kathy.
And she replaces what now?
It says they replace signs as needed.
I like
Yeah,
that.
she-
Put that on there.
She
brings those.
she doesn't really go out to replace them. She makes the signs, is my understanding.
Like the
Don't replace building signs.
Yeah. Build, you know,
Exactly, I got
making the
these.
replacement signs. Yeah. No, she's not going out and hanging signs.
To fill those signs, I wouldn't do that.
No, trying to reuse those blanks. Sometimes they've got vinyl numbers on them, the wrong numbers or something. Pain. Okay, good. We got that one knocked out. So moving on to number 3 is Miss Karen, who is a 911 coordinator. You got something to do. I got Larry here now, but thank you.
Yeah.
I have to have a bailiff the whole court. And so anybody's licensed peace officer, we can make bailiff, but you know, when everybody bailed on me, I'm kind of like, well, all right, that's gonna be awkward here in a minute. I'm not worried about them shooting each other or anything like that. I've seen him, you know, but he's easy today. He's not on hard stuff, so. Yeah, I don't know if they're really mad at Cordell. Kevin, you still there? I don't know if that's a shot at you or if that, no, it's not a shot at Kevin. It's that VAV box. They're having trouble with it. It's got some kind of sensor in it that is bad. And that sensor is causing that thing just to blow full blast. So they're trying to work on it today and get that aligned out. So I think yours is one of the ones where they literally drilled, somebody put a screw in it and it blocked the dampener and it's holding it open. I think that's one.
Nice.
Doug likes that.
Probably kind of Cordell.
I can't tell if he's on there or listening or just having fun with us.
Oh, well, his name is.
We're just trying to goad him into a conversation. I did that one time to Jackson. I thought he wasn't paying attention, but then it turned out he was paying attention.
I'm here.
He's here. He's paying attention.
OSS, yeah. She does most of that phone calls and everything.
Does she? I
And
didn't.
get them, you know, she has to get people to sign off on the map where they're gonna put their house.
Yeah.
So that it's not in the floodplain and all that.
Mhm.
And so,
She even meets them out there.
yes, she
Mhm.
meets them out there.
Mhm.
So at one time, you talked about putting that.
Yeah, we did.
And all them
Yeah.
down there.
We have about making a different not an entity, a different department, a
Yeah, so.
public works, if you will.
Yeah, so do we need to entertain that at this point or wait till?
I think let's
budget time?
wait till budget time, see how that goes. I mean, we could, but it's going to slow things down at this point. We're really just looking for what she's doing today.
Okay,
So, but we can definitely have that conversation during budget time if we need to do something different, rearrange or restructure that.
because I think that leads to child.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. We definitely need to add another deputy into that environmental position.
Yeah.
I've got another call with Jeff Ward this afternoon, and my goodness, they're working that guy to the bone. So
Can Karen speak
he needs help. I mean, he's doing a good job. He's doing a great job. Just-
Maybe people haven't.
Because there's a lot.
It's nice.
So any other changes to Karen McClendon's at this time?
Did notice it.
Okay,
That was
okay.
concerned about.
Do we need to add just OSSF administrative assistants? Or how would you word that out of curiosity?
I don't know, really, that's Seti's also.
Well, it kind of comes in with that combined application we've got for all of those things. Is it already addressed in there? If so, can we get by with what we got, or do we need to add something to
I
it
think we
today?
get by now.
Okay.
If we
Later.
change the budget in October, that needs to be. part of it.
Okay, good deal. Well, that conversation will come back up during budget time then.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're going to Karen for now. Let's move on to the next one. What's the next one?
Next one is general labor 1 and general labor 2.
Understanding, gentlemen, we don't have general laborers at this time. We're simply putting these in case an emergency comes about, and we hired to hire general laborers for some scenario.
So on my current notes that these positions are no CDL for the 1, CDL for the 2, and just a shop helper, but it doesn't outline anywhere on here what they actually do.
Well, the description of what they do is inaccurate, inconsistent with the CDL, no CDL.
Okay, well, let's ditch general labor 1, 2, and 3 for the day. We'll come back to them at a later date. We'll rewrite them, take a stab at them, bring back to the court for approval later. Do we have an agreement to the general understanding? We should have job descriptions for general labor 1, 2, and 3. We just need to figure out an accurate description of what that should be. Yeah, because I don't see a general laborer being somebody in the CDL personally.
That's just
As a flavor, you
There's
see,
this 2.
Just to, okay. So we'll come back with a better definition for today. We're just gonna skip over those. What's the next one?
And road and bridge operator 1, we have an operator 2 and an operator 3.
All right,
And on the 2, we have a part-time and a full-time, which their duties should be the same, just part-time versus full-time.
okay. This 2 the only one that needs that designation, part-time, full-time?
So far, currently. yes.
Okay, would we want to do that for anything like a 3? Would that person ever be with us long enough to move up, learn a new skill part-time? I don't know the answer to this question. I'm just asking them.
say that again.
So we got a part-time operator 2 in one of your precincts right now.
Right.
That's yours. Would that guy ever learn a skill that would move him up to a part-time operator 3?
Maybe
Not
overtime.
on a part-time basis.
Okay, good. So we don't need to worry about that then. We're good with that one part-time designation at this point.
It's here, what we currently have in place, that an operator 1 does some equipment, but not all. But they can do like a tractor, a backhoe, an excavator, and a motor grader. And if I say those wrong, please feel free to laugh at me, because I'm not in y'all's realm.
Yellow painty things is what we call them in my office.
Okay. And so these were just built based off of some stuff that Martin turned in, some stuff Larry turned in, Evergreen, some stuff Jim worked with me on. It's just kind of everything held together. I don't know if it's right, wrong, or indifferent.
I got a hundred G's.
That's good.
So there's.
Well, it's the case, it's the case system, copy and steal everything. It's a recognized system in county government.
And so Martin said it was actually something that looked it into
Good.
these.
Because our little policy on modification and of employees earlier, that may have been borrowed from somewhere else as well. A couple of somewhere else's.
And I will say that aside from their actual job functions, please pay close attention to the physical demands, because that really comes into play with workers' comp.
Oh, that's a good point. So when you say that, can you expound on that just a hair?
Sure, so currently we have a workers' comp case in precinct 1. He's been unable to come back for a year because we cannot accommodate him based on our job descriptions. And that lets us continue this process to move forward or not.
So is there something we need to include in one of the job descriptions to facilitate this individual's coming back to us or facilitate them moving on to another employment?
Correct, and we have that internally,
Okay.
but this policy is what they, this job description is what they take to the doctor. And they look at it and say, can you physically do this job? And then they come back and say, can you accommodate the restrictions?
Okay,
That's a whole.
Gotcha.
sidebar
And if we
discussion.
can't accommodate the restrictions, they stay off of work. If we can, then we type up a document that says these are your restrictions, you adhere to them.
let me just ask this very pointedly. Are one of these job descriptions going to allow this individual that we can accommodate their limitations? No? Okay, so we're in the same boat there. No need to discuss it.
And the difference between your one, your two, and your three is, the equipment. It looks like the equipment is the deciding factor when these were originally put in place.
The equipment and
That would make sense.
Remember when Susan came and did the stuff with, I think, Scotty, that was kind of the difference.
So after these three, not trying to jump ahead, we're still on topic. What are our other ones above this?
The form.
That's it. And it's not like operator 4, that's just form.
Just form.
Got it, cool.
And then I think the four is what we need to come back at a later date.
Agreed, because at some point people are going to move up, they're going to have other job skills sets like he's talking about. There may be something else out there that I'm not aware of that they do that, yeah, we need to put a 4 in. But are these 3 good for today? We can always make amendments, changes later, but if we can get these basic ones down today, that'll narrow us down to where we got to come back for 2 general laborers.
The thing that we need to talk about, I think on all those levels is the experience required to move from one to the next and the, like you said, the weight, pounds, you know, whatever that limitation needs to be. I don't think it needs to change necessarily between 1, 2, or 3. I took a stab at the experience. And that is something, if you guys would look at mine and opine on, I'd appreciate some input on that.
And what I did is 1 was kind of the entry level, the 2 was 1 to 3 years, the 3 was 4 to 6 or 7 years.
I think that fits,
That fits, and then the form would be 7 years.
but I didn't know how that fits for you.
Okay, I got you. I like that idea. It's structured as such. It can base experience. Okay. So the purpose of this workshop today is just to get these down so I can bring it back to you next Commissioners Court and whatever we're going to adopt out of the current years. We can always talk later about changing things, but these current ones for operator 1, 2, 3, foreman, we can adopt those. Obviously, if we want to talk about 4, we can build that at a later date, put that together. And the same thing with those 2 general labor positions that we're trying to create just for utility sake. I haven't heard any objection to any of them so far, but I need to know on these 3, are they operator 1, 2, and 3? Are they what you think they should be? Do they currently describe how we're doing things and what those employees in those categories currently do?
But all basically the same, 3 precincts, the requirements are basically the same.
Yeah, and then the years of experience are the same. Okay, and then what other qualifiers? Is everybody requiring all their operators to have CDLs?
Yes.
Okay, so that's uniform. So all 3 will have to, even operator 1 has to have a CDL. Okay. Well, out of curiosity, I got to ask this one real quick then. I'm not trying to throw anybody off. If we hire somebody knowing it's hard to get a CDL nowadays, and we got to put them through school, where do we hire them at if they don't have, if operator 1 has to have a CDL? If we hire somebody without one with the intention of putting them through a school, clearly they don't meet the qualifications operator 1 yet. What do we do with that individual until they do get a CDL?
TEEPS has a program, it's a 2-week program that run through county now.
So you could do
2 weeks.
during their-
That's quick.
And they guarantee your pills.
That was
That's
one of the sessions down there at the conference was a CDL, what you had to go to school now.
Yeah, there's no longer you show up, take a
Yeah,
test and
I don't remember, it's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Yeah, it's about $4,000.
Mhm.
And caveat that if we ever do that, we need to put in place, is that person will be employed by Hill County X number of whatever. You know, if we're investing this money to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a
Okay. I'm
CDL.
sorry. I misunderstood where you're going with that. Yeah. It's like, man, we want to fire somebody, we want to fire him. Yeah, no, totally understand. Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't know that we're going to do that. We've had to do it in the past. We've done it with previous commissioners, found somebody that was a good operator. They just never got their CDL. Yeah.
County truck.
Yeah. You don't need a CDL to operate a grain truck, right? Anyway, yeah, sure. Yeah, sounds good. So the question becomes then, again, I go back to this one not to prolong this meeting, but do we need a intermediate step between labor and general operator 1? Or where we require CDL, if we hire somebody that doesn't meet our requirements, that may put us in a position with workforce. So we really need to have an intermediate step if we, and again, it's all ifs. Maybe it's CDL starts at 2, 3, there's a 4, so like right now we got 1, 2, 3, we move everybody up. So then it's 2, 3, 4. And then if we create another one for chip sealing or whatever, that's 5. Again, that's how our system's designed, is we can do that. And we can revise that pay every year, figure out what we need to do. It's just based on the duties of each one of those that we assign it. So I think there needs to be an operator 1 level. They're just an operator that there's no CDL requirement, because you may find yourself in that position. And if we have to hire that and our requirement is, oh, you got to have a CDL, then we get in a running gun battle with these people. When we go to Workforce Commission, we're not going to win that. We're going to lose that. So that's one of the reasons these things are important. But if you guys are up for that, I would like to see, or at least 1, and then take the current one, make it 2, then 3, then 4. And then we have room for expansion for other duties. And then we have still the foreman 1. That being, go ahead.
We don't want to get locked into a situation where changing these job descriptions changes the pay scale that's been allocated in our with salary.
Correct.
Because if you've got that, if that's a requirement at that pay grade and it's a 104, if you've done that down, then where are you?
Well, you would leave, so let's say this hypothetically, your system has got right now, today, as of this very meeting, which we've done nothing to adopt any of this, but you have an operator 1 that has a pay grade 104. Well, then, all right, if you move that operator 1 up to, we're gonna now call them operator 2, 3, 4 starting, you can make a new operator and put them at 103 or 102 or 101. That's the beauty of our pay system, is that even if we change the name of the position held, we still have the ability to allocate as commissioners for the same money to that position and make it work within that pay grade. It's stepping grades, the beauty of it.
It's a 5%, every pay grade is 5%.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, if you wanted to hire an operator 1, you wanted to create that position, right? And who has an operator 1 right now? Anybody? No, yeah.
I need one.
Good luck. Yeah. Good luck with that. You hire people that go on to become judges and stuff. Terrible record there. Terrible track record.
Trey, you don't do me?
Have CDS.
Yeah. You got a position we can create for you, young man.
That's a change right there.
Yeah. But I do think that we need to do that and make one of those operator positions, the lowest level, be the non-CDL. I know that we don't have that problem right now, but if they're holding CLE on it, it's holding education on it, you know it's coming. We've got a different workforce than we had 10 years ago, and we've got more difficulty in finding people with certain things, certain skill sets than we have in the past. So for us, it's important that we have room to deal with that on the fly. And if we got to come back to the court and recreate it, and it takes a couple of meetings trying to hire somebody, that's not going to be worth the darn.
And once I realize these, and I pass them on, if we'll find something next week, we can just bring that 1 job description back to the next court session and just alter it.
Okay.
That's easy enough. I mean, I have all the templates. It's easy to. just-
Yeah. The only thing is that I guess the biggest concern, like I heard from Jim, is that, all right, well, we can create a 4, 5, 6 right now, doesn't change anything. But if we create a 1 and move everything else up, that might be a little different. Maybe don't call it an operator. Maybe you call it something else so you don't have that problem. I'm open to anything, but I do think we need a job description in the county precincts that provides for somebody that can operate equipment but does not have a CDL.
Is that where you put that general laborer too?
I don't know, because a general laborer is not somebody that I would see as operates a piece of equipment, but we definitely could. We could do that. I don't see why not.
Operator training.
Yeah, operator trainee. Yeah, you could call it that. So just general labor and then operator trainee. You open to that?
In law enforcement, they use probation a lot. So you're on probation until you receive X certification, so.
And you know what? That's a good way of looking at things too, Judge,
So
because
if you don't receive it, you fail out, you're unable to
Because-
then it's an automatic termination. Because you failed.
all right. Yeah, so we could make probationary operator. Because I imagine if we hired an operator without a CDL, our expectation is going to be that person get their CDL.
I thought at one time we couldn't say probation.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
On probation.
Seemed like that my first
Interim, I like that. I'm not, I'm
You
interim
can't-
operator.
You can't,
So the real operator comes back.
yeah, you can't actually say you're on, probation.
In our other job descriptions, we use training, so.
Yeah, training. There you go. We can train people all day long. So, yeah.
Operator one training.
Yeah, operator train, not operator one, just operator training. That solves the problem there, doesn't it?
CEO still on the job.
And they'll just put them at a lower pay grade than the low, at least 5 to 10% below the operator. So that should solve that. So does anybody got any? Yeah, go ahead.
Term. With you got 6 months, you got 6 years.
Man, if you got a 6-year trainee, I'm going to tell you, you got the wrong guy. Yeah.
But they're wrong now,
Maybe we just leave it open-ended. How about that? I mean, yeah. I think 6 months is a fair time to assess if that individual is going to work out in your precinct or not. And if they do, great. I did that I didn't do it for 6 months, the individual we hired over at the other janitorial position at Covington Street, can't get words out today, apparently. And held them on for a long time as just a trainee position until they worked out like we wanted it to. We moved on.
Another thing too, I don't think it's right that even though they have a CDL,
Mhm.
they have equipment and they have not proved themselves that they don't need to start where operator 3s are.
I agree.
They need to start at a lower rate and then work yourself up.
I agree with that analysis wholeheartedly. It needs to be that way. And if we hire somebody in an operator one, no matter what their experience is, think of the experience as a minimum that they would need, not a maximum. So if you've got a guy that, he tells you he's got 10 years operating backhoe and he's God's gift to backhoes and he's the greatest thing that ever happened to a backhoe, and that John Deere and Case call him religiously for opinions on backhoes, and you go, that sounds like a lot of hudda. You can start him at operator
You
one.
need to prove.
In 6 months.
So
Yeah, exactly. In 6 months, he shows you, you can move him up to 2, or you can move him up to 3 or wherever.
we're taking the operator one out.
No. We're going to leave those 3 the same. Operator 1, 2, 3.
Just add a training.
Yes, sir. Underneath. If that way, that doesn't change anybody, doesn't give any heartburn on moving current employees into different positions. Our policy is the one we just adopted is 6 months. You can hire that guy in at operator trainee if you want to. Remember, the job qualifications are a minimum. They're not a maximum. If you get somebody come in and they're overqualified for a job, they're qualified to be a operator 3, but you only got trainee money, you can hire them as trainee. All we're saying is you can't hire somebody with less than these qualifications at that position. You can't hire a foreman that just graduated high school.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all there is to it.
it's like an application I got the other day was had a Bachelor of Science and a master's in something else. No equipment.
Masters in backhoe.
Yeah.
Maybe he saw his, I'm just simply saying, if you've got a master's degree and you're applying for us, you've had some life changes I'm not aware of. And decisions were made, guys. That's good for that individual. I'm happy they applied, but I just think that's an interesting route to go.
No,
These are important because Rick Bailey told me a couple of weeks ago when I was talking to him. They had a new employee who was younger and they wanted him to do something that wasn't on his job description. He refused to do it.
The workforce is different today than it was 10 years ago. And that's, I won't get us in any trouble saying any more than that. But you're right. And Rick's right. And there are people that came up in a different society than we came up in collectively. And it's a rules-based society, much more so than ours was. So the biggest part of this thing is not trying to say, my employees better, you've done that. We're trying to get a set of letters down to protect the taxpayer, protect ourselves, protect the county. And when we put a job description out, if we start adding new duties to it, let us know. We can go change that job description, but we need to make sure going forward, these job descriptions accurately reflect what it is that we're doing here. So,
well, that's like road and bridge, 1, 2, and 3. It pretty well covers everything. Sweeping the
we
floor to
had to, yeah.
rebuilding the bridge.
Evidently something Johnson County wasn't from theirs.
Well, I always like to add the old and other duties as assigned, as a catch-all there at the base. That's a helpful thing to add to everything.
You'll notice that the special skills demands generally are larger than the job description itself.
Correct.
Because.
Yeah, and so, well, has anybody got any questions or any conflicts of the way that Rachel has 1, 2, and 3 worded? Because if you do, we need to solve that now. Otherwise, we've kind of gone through everything today.
Well, the foreman.
Oh, that's foreman. We have the foreman still. And what we'll do is we'll make any changes that this group has decided to make to these and bring them back for official adoption at our next regular commissioners court meeting. Yeah. Any changes to Rachel's proposal on 1, 2, and 3, guys? And Jim's still looking. Oh, we're on foreman. Never mind. So I've heard no changes to 1, 2, or 3. So we're going to bring 1, 2, and 3 back to the next regular commissioners court for adoption unless somebody comes up with something. Let's go on to foreman. Foreman will be the last job description. Obviously, not all of us have foreman, but those that do, we have to have a job description for it. I say that. You got a foreman nowadays? I didn't think so. Okay. Anyway, does that, the 3 of y'all that have foreman, does that accurately reflect what a foreman does in Hill County?
And I'll also say like foreman is at a 108, your operator 3 is at a 106, so if we add 4, then just run the middle. So there's only a 5% difference from your 4 and your foreman.
Yeah, if we add a 4, gotcha. That may be useful in some circumstances. I know you joined us late. Thanks for being with us. Anything on our agenda here to talk about?
Number 38.
Oh,
Folks is here.
okay. Well,
We set a public hearing for that.
we set a public hearing on it April the 9th, 2004 at 8:30. I knew you looked familiar. Sorry, I couldn't place you. So yeah, we've set what the next step on that one is, this is just notice that we're going to set a public hearing. Now Jim will go out and post that road on both ends to let the world know that, hey, we're going to have a public hearing. We'll publish it in the newspaper. And then on April 9th, we'll have a hearing for or against the commissioner's court. We'll vote there after that public hearing to take action, either close or whatever we're going to do. Good deal. No, thank you. Sorry, I saw you sitting back there patient. I was like, there's something's here for, and he's not for this, I'm sure.
No, appreciate you coming.
Yeah, this went a little quicker than we anticipated. I thought we'd be here at lunch, frankly. But thank you for coming back again. I appreciate working with us.
Okay, on the qualifications for foreman, you got 5 to 7 years. We should have a caveat there, or as appointed by the commissioner after demonstrating excellent working knowledge.
Well, is that 5 to 7 years of experience or 5 to 7 years working for the county?
Experience.
Okay, I read it as experience.
That's what it says.
Do you think there's a situation where we hire a guy with less than 5 years experience as foreman? I mean, if there is, we need to change it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you had somebody that was an exemplary leader, that had all the skills, that had 4 years of experience, you wouldn't want to exempt him from that
Fair,
category.
fair enough. Yeah, I think that would be the only category I would be in favor of doing that, is because the foreman is such a number 2 in your world. I would rather have structured 1, 2, and 3 and leave those years of experience in. But I could see that with foreman putting the caveat that, hey, that's commissioner's discretion if it doesn't meet this too.
I mean, Scotty may run across somebody, I know he didn't have one right now, but he may run across somebody that's got, comes out of woodwork, 4 years experience, can do it all, and has leadership capabilities and demonstrates those in a short period of time.
I think Scotty finds that guy. He's going to nominate him for commissioner, not ordinance. I get the impression Scotty would tell that guy to run.
That's all I have to do.
Just that caveat.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I saw in there, Richard.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else for foreman? Anything you guys want to add, delete, modify, change? Good. Yeah, not me. I like that. Yeah, I'm tapping out on this one.
Well, they don't participate in continuous education.
You don't have like safety meetings or anything like that?
Well, yeah, we do that. I'm done.
We're always learning.
Yeah. But I was thinking like a conference, continuous education.
Well, I guess that's accurate. We don't actually have conference for road and bridge foreman.
You
But-
could send him to a leadership conference.
You could do
All
that.
kinds
And
of
I didn't think about that, but you're right. That would be something that might be useful. Leadership skills. I know TAC offers some stuff like that. I'm sure TEEX offers something. They got a whole wide range of education. Is it a requirement that they have to do it?
No, it's just occasional.
Okay, there you go. So not a you have to, but it's a good idea to do it.
Sit down with the foreman and your crew
I'd hate wasting her time down there.
All right. Well, if no one's got any other changes to that, so that's what we're going to bring back is going to be the ones we just mentioned. The administrative assistant, which is currently the database manager, Alyssa Watson. We're going to bring back the assistant to 911, which is Kathy. We're going to bring back 911 coordinator, which is Karen. We're going to bring back operator 123. We're going to create a trainee operator position. We're going to bring back foreman. We're going to look at general laborer to make sure that we have a spot that you guys have something. They won't have any CDL. They won't really have any experience. It will be, hey, the kind of thing you go to Home Depot and pick up a general laborer. That's what you're looking at there. And those will be the things that we're planning on bringing back next quote for adoption, if that's okay.
I hate to roll those documents, but
Go for
we had a part-time administrative assistant.
I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, Danny's already taken care of. I'm sorry, we should have gone over that. Good point. Yeah. So
Okay.
you're in a unique position, and I found it funny that part-time administration assistants, one of his qualifications must have been commissioner previously. So
He's a big.
he is, he's a great guy. So, all right, well, there's nothing further than you kind of got to know what we're going to do next time. We've got our marching orders. Thank you very much, Ms. Rachel, for putting all this together for us and helping us out. It's me. Yes, I will ask your help.
But it just takes some time. You want to make sure you're very thorough doing.
Oh, amen. No doubt. Good deal. Thank you for that. Appreciate that offer. All right. Well, in which case, anything further before this August body?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion second, you stand